One of the things is that, we know that over the years, the value of running backs has gone way, way down.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and sitting in as guest host this week, our favorite administrator, Robert Abney. Robert, how the heck are you doing today, sir?
Every day I'm living the dream, man. Let's get this show going.
All right, so on today's Top Shelf Tuesday edition, we're going to keep talking about these running backs because the magic day is fastly coming up where they have to make some decisions financially. We'll also talk about distractions, and we will end the show talking about quarterback tiers, thanks to our friends at CBS Sports. But first, Robert, the New York Giants, let's start with Saquon Barkley. Saquon is reportedly considering holding out to start training camp, leaving a franchise tag offer of $10 million on the table in hopes of a long-term deal. How much the Giants has offered isn't too encouraging. The Giants have offered up to $19.5 million guaranteed on a long-term deal. That $19.5 million will give Barkley the sixth highest guaranteed money for a running back this year. That is behind Nick Chubb. That is behind rookie Bijan Robinson, and he hasn't even played a snap yet. Robert, we've talked about it a lot, but now the date is forthcoming. What are we going to do about Saquon?
Well, one of the things is that, we know that over the years, the value of running backs has gone way, way down, right? That $10 million, when you compare that to wide receivers, when you compare that to left tackles, when you compare that to quarterbacks, obviously that money is not anywhere near what those positions are getting. Saquon Barkley is really talented. I love watching him play. He's fun. It's fun to watch him run. It's just that's not what the game is anymore. And I don't know. I don't know what he is expecting to get if he doesn't take this franchise tag and negotiate. It seems to me the best thing to do would be stay healthy, play 15, 16, 17 games, put up some numbers, and then go get paid. But that might just be me.
Yeah, and it's hard to find where the money's coming from because there's so many good running backs out there. And how'd that work out for Le'Veon Bell sitting out? Didn't work out very well. So the advice I would give him is to get whatever guarantees you can, and then let Mr. Hamstring guide your decision making for the rest of the year, because that's just not working out for him. But we will stay tuned to that. So let's go out to one of my favorite cities, Las Vegas. Josh Jacobs will not attend Raiders training camp unless he's offered a new deal by the deadline, which is Monday, and this show comes out Tuesday. The running back is currently under a $10.1 million franchise tag. See how they get you? If the Raiders and Jacobs do not agree to a contract by the deadline, Jacobs will only be able to sign a one-year deal, and it cannot be extended until after the 2023 season. Jacobs, just like Saquon, is looking for a long-term extension after Robert leading the NFL with 1,653 rushing yards last year. If they can't agree, he won't be able to play. Robert, 1,600 yards.
It's the same deal, man. It's the same. Although I will say, if I remember correctly, Jacobs is he's a little less injury prone than Saquon Barkley, but it's kind of the same deal. It in this day and age, finding a running back is not that hard. And I don't blame these guys one bit for trying to get paid. Not one bit, because they should get every bit of money while they can. I just don't know where they're going to find it. That's all.
Well, taking some of the advice in Cincinnati, Joe Mixon jumped off the boat, and last week he agreed to restructure his contract, and he will He had a $9.4 million non-guaranteed base salary. Now he got another deal. The 6-year veteran has spent his time in Cincinnati in 14 games last year. He rushed for 814 yards, 7 touchdowns. His numbers have dropped, but he just restructured his contract, and now he's got something coming in instead of nothing. What do you think about Joe Mixon reading the tea leaves and saying, all right, I'm good?
I seem to remember they have somebody else in their stable of running backs also. I can't remember who that is.
I do not know, and Point Five's not here.
Most of these guys, they got 3, even 4 guys they interchange and run in and out of there. And if you can get, it seems to me that if you can get 1,000 yards rushing, get 500, 700 yards receiving from a group of running backs, that's kind of what you're looking for.
And in April's draft, the Bengals selected Illinois' Chase Brown in the 5th round. So you know what kind of money 5th rounders are making. No budget productions. All right. So finally for this segment, we're going to go to the Chargers. After negotiating a revised contract with the Chargers in May, Austin Eckler spoke out last week regarding the difficulties running backs are having. He was on the Rich Eisen show, and he said, quote, "If I'm looking at some of the backup receivers out there, they are still making more than me. That's going to piss me off, right? I'm a little bit like, okay, wait a minute. So you're telling me these people are the number 3 receivers and they're going to make more than me, and I'm the starter. I get more carries. I touch the ball more. I have more of an impact." Robert, what do you think about his thoughts? Agree, disagree?
I mean, he's a good player, and they got him on the cheap because they drafted him from a tiny little Division II school in Gunnison, Colorado. You ever been to Gunnison?
Cannot say I've had the pleasure of being there.
I've ever been in my life. Cold in the winter. It's like at 8,000 feet. It snows. It's miserable. And it starts that in the middle of October. So, he can play in the weather. He might be a good fit for a team like Buffalo, come to think of it. But he's a good player. But again, running backs, the game. I think the game will probably start to take a swing back at some point where maybe you start to see teams with single running backs that there be maybe more of that mindset. But I don't think teams look for that. I think teams look for, 2 or 3 or even 4 guys they can keep around, similar skill sets. Maybe you have one little guy who's like a Darren Sproles guy for 3rd down, who's fast. But running backs, there hasn't been a whole lot. There hadn't been a whole lot of value. And is that not reflected in fantasy football?
Yes. According to the people who still play, I transition over from fantasy when we can do things strictly for entertainment purposes.
Right.
Right. All right. Well, fans, when we get back, we're going to talk about some distractions as we head into the season. Training camp is a week or 2 away. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast.
The high school and college academic and athletic landscape is changing. The growing number of college transfers, as well as student athletes being able to profit off the use of their name, image, and likeness, has given student athletes the freedom and power to make life-changing decisions. That is why it is important for student athletes to be properly informed throughout the decision-making process. The difference between success and failure is often measured not by yards, but by inches, and even the most successful coaches and players use outside independent consultants to help improve their decision-making, which improves their results. That is what the CKA Save Project would like to do for student athletes across the country, improve their academic and athletic results. Our academic and athletic consulting services assist student athletes with the college decision-making process. The CKA team of former high school and college coaches can provide student athletes an independent assessment of their academic and athletic skills to assist student athletes in their college decision-making process. Let the CKA team evaluate your academic and athletic ability to assist you in finding the right fit for your academic and athletic career. For more information, visit us on the web at www.cksaveproject.org or schedule a free virtual consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. In segment 2, we're going to start talking about some distractions as training camps start to get going. Robert, we're going to go with New England. In a column in the Boston Globe, Ben Volin published last week, seems like there's some problems in New England. And because Tom Brady won a Super Bowl after leaving, still a little salty feelings in New England. In addition, that stunt that didn't work with the offensive coordinator last year and Mac Jones's regression. If Belichick doesn't win, is he on the hot seat? Is this a conversation we're going to have all year? Robert, what say you?
You know, I think of guys like Bill Belichick and Greg Popovich in the NBA. They remind me of Robert Plant, the guy who was the lead singer for Led Zeppelin.
Yes.
And after leaving Led Zeppelin, you know, he's done all kinds of different music genres. He's done all kinds of weird, I mean, some of it's really weird, right? And a lot of it he does is because he's Robert Plant and he can do it. And I think that's kind of, you know, the whole offensive coordinator thing with Bill Belichick. I can do it, so I'm going to. I think Bill Belichick, Pop, a lot of those guys, they do things because they can. Because you know what? I've done it all. I've seen it all. I can do whatever I want. And yes, they can. But the NFL is a business and the Patriots make a lot of money. And their fans are going to start making some noise if they don't start seeing a little more success on the field. They've been awful to watch. They're unwatchable. Mac Jones is unwatchable. It is hard to watch because they're just not good. And so I think it's fair that he's on the hot seat. They've got to play better.
Okay. Let's go to Philadelphia. And this is a tie-in from things we talk about on our college shows on Thursdays. Victor Boyles, who survived the fatal car wreck that killed University of Georgia football player and recruiting staffer on January 15th, has filed a lawsuit against the University of Georgia and Philadelphia Eagles rookie Jalen Carter, whom police accused of racing the University of Georgia football player and the staffer. So now I have an administrator with me. This is a legal issue, and legal issues take their time. They do not rush. They go through a process, and you're a rookie in the NFL, and you have a lot of University of Georgia defensive players in your team. How are you taking this distraction, or it won't make a difference for the Eagles, who have one of the toughest schedules in the league?
I don't think that this will have any impact on the Eagles. I think their schedule is going to have a lot more impact on the Eagles than anything like this. Let's keep in mind that it looks like, and I haven't read any of the news stories on this, it looks like it's a civil suit and not a criminal, not more criminal stuff, because he pled no contest to misdemeanor charges of reckless driving. He got probation, he got a fine, he did community service, he had to go do a defensive driving course. Right, wrong, whatever, he served the sentence he was given, and we moved on. I don't believe the NFL typically does anything with civil lawsuits. Maybe they do. But in terms of the Eagles, I don't think it's going to be a distraction for them. They're going to be distracted enough, because my feeling is they're still going to be good, but they're going to have a few more hiccups this year, I think.
Yes. All right. And finally, off the field, talking about distractions, Philip Rivers is the man. Philip Rivers will soon be able to have an entire 11-person offense made up of himself and his children in theory. Okay. Philip Rivers announced that he and his wife Tiffany are expecting their 10th child in October. The couple has 7 girls and 2 boys ranging from 4 to 21. And they hope to welcome a baby boy. That's what they hope. Philip Rivers has apparently had a child pretty much every 2 years, and this has been the longest gap. He is now a high school football coach in Alabama. Robert, I scream about 14 all the time, and I have 1. What are you doing with 10 children?
Does he know how that's happening? That's my question. Does he know how that's happening? because there are surgical procedures for that. I cannot imagine. I had 2 girls, and I cannot imagine. I have 2 granddaughters now, and chasing them around. They're 3 and they're 1. Chasing them around, that's a chore, and that is a young man's chore. Not my chore. So, once you get up over about 35, starting to chase young kids around, I don't know about that, man. But hey,
Yeah.
good on him.
Good for him.
That's what you want to do. You go on, man.
Because I'm driving back and forth in school and sports, and I got 1 and I'm tired. I don't know what I would do with 10. So with that, when we get back, fans, we're going to talk about quarterback tiers and get ready to do things strictly for entertainment purposes only on the Odd Coaches Podcast.
The reviews are in for Dr. Keith Adams' book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. College professor and student athlete academic expert Dr. Lisa Rubin said, "There is nothing out there like this book, so I do hope people will pay attention and give it a read." Former George Mason standout Folarin Campbell said, "Consider this book an opportunity to work directly with Dr. Adams just like I did. I assure you that there will be something you can take away that will be useful to you throughout your personal journey." Ryan Waite, a recent college graduate who is a software engineer, said, "I like how the book is based on research, which makes it good for general students as well as student athletes." The book serves as both a memoir to Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic career, as well as an instructional guide to assist student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators navigate through the challenges of finding a better balance between academic and athletic success. The book includes over 15 personal stories and anecdotes from Dr. Adams, along with numerous former players and colleagues from a variety of sports and endeavors. You can order your copy at www.ckasaveproject.org. From the main page, simply click CKA Save Project Services and order the Find the Balance book. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment 3. Thanks to our friends at CBS Sports. We're going to tier up the quarterback. So we're going to have, I believe it is 7 tiers, Robert. So tier 1, tell me if you agree or disagree. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen. Those are the best of the best. Agree or disagree?
I'd go with that. Who are you taking from those 3?
I'm not, man. I'm taking Patrick. That's my first pick because that kid's special. There's just something special about him. Joe Burrow wins. Yeah. And I didn't think his transition would be as easy as it appears to have been. So I'm paying attention to Cincinnati a little more than usual. And Josh Allen's right up there. And if they had the ball back in that playoff game, he probably would have scored. But he takes a lot of hits. He takes a lot of shots. And that's, but okay. So tier 2. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, they got to do something about that.
That's a lot of hits, man. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of hits. All right. Tier 2, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence, and Jalen Hurts. Anybody you want to move up, or these are the next level of quarterbacks?
I think of those 4. I think Jalen Hurts is the closest to moving up. I think of those.
He played well.
I like all four of those guys. Lamar Jackson is electric. Watching him play is fun because you never know what's going to happen. And sometimes it's weird stuff that happens, but he's electric. He is fun to watch.
Sometimes you got to turn your head. Now,
Yeah.
Justin Herbert is the one for me that has to do something because the Chargers have underperformed. Lamar Jackson has the contract, but hey, look, I'm in the minority. Of course, get your money, get your bag, but he hasn't done well in the postseason, and it really doesn't matter in my eyes about him until we get to the postseason and we get a run together because he hasn't had a run. Josh Allen, had an opportunity to showcase himself. I like the trajectory of Trevor Lawrence. That first year, it's a wash because Urban was so bad. He was criminally bad.
Yeah.
So we'll see how he does this year. But man, last year was his rookie year because I don't know what was going on with Urban.
Yeah.
All right. So tier 3, a lot of question marks. So here's a bunch of guys that they got question marks. Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford, Tua Tagovailoa, Justin Fields, Daniel Jones, Deshaun Watson, and Russell Wilson. Anybody you don't have a question mark about?
The challenge with all of these guys, when you think about it, I mean, I guess the Giants are okay. I guess the Dolphins are okay. The rest of those teams aren't very good. And that's really the question mark. Can these guys help them win? Can they? Sure. I don't think of all of those, I don't think Tua belongs there. I don't think Tua belongs on the field, man. He's been hit in the head too many times.
He's cleared, medically cleared, independent doctors. You know how that system works? Independent.
Ain't having it. I ain't having it.
Well,
head too many times.
And don't forget the judo. We mentioned the judo earlier this offseason.
And Russell Wilson. I think the Broncos got fleeced on that one, man.
And Sean Payton. This guy has one Super Bowl and hadn't done anything without Drew Brees. And we talked about Bill Belichick already. So, yeah. And Matthew Stafford got his ring. He's good. His belly is full. Yep. So, good luck with that. All right. Tier 4. You can win with these guys. I can't believe some of these guys are on the may as well have Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins, Ryan Tannehill, Derek Carr, and Jimmy Garoppolo. You can win with them. You know my disdain for overpaying for things. I actually would take one or two of these guys and say, okay, I'm good. What do you think, sir?
I'm taking Jared Goff or Dak Prescott over anybody in the previous tier myself.
What about the bank robber Kirk Cousins? And he's getting a lot of positive fare with the Netflix series.
He's got good numbers. I mean, and so that's really what you're looking at, right? What's more important when you're looking for a quarterback? Are you looking for can they win? And when you look at can they win, are you looking at how they're winning? Or are you going to make sure you get somebody who's got numbers and make the assumption that success is going to follow because you got a quarterback who puts up numbers? What's it going to be?
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to the NFC West preview show because I need somebody to talk to me about Geno Smith because that guy came back like the Undertaker, had a great season. And can we do that again? And I need somebody to sell me before I, put my little 10 spot on the over-under total with Seattle. But hey, tier 5, these are the kids that are coming up, and maybe you can win with them. Mac Jones, Kenny Pickett, what's up with the gloves, and Brock Purdy. What are you thinking about? Any one of these youngsters that you're like, okay, let's groom that one?
Nope. Yeah.
What's up with the
Nope.
gloves with Kenny Pickett?
Nope.
And Brock Purdy, is he a one-hit wonder? That's going to be interesting because San Francisco's good. And again, I'm going back to that NFC West show, but that's who's quarterbacking, or the other guy, Trey Lance.
Mhm.
So,
It's true.
all right. Tier 6, we have no clue. We have no idea. Kyler Murray coming off injury. Sam Howell, who I actually like. Jordan Love, whose teammates keep telling me they like him. Baker Mayfield, great commercials. And Desmond Ritter from Atlanta. Do you have any thoughts on any of these guys?
Kyler Murray is only going to be any good if the Arizona Cardinals offensive line is any good. If they can keep him vertical and keep him from getting killed, I like him a lot. I don't know if they can do that. And that division they play in, that's tough. So I got to admit, this is terrible. I should know this. I don't know who Sam Howell is.
Sam Howell is the quarterback for the Washington Commanders, and he played at the University of North Carolina. He had first-round talent, but because his senior year wasn't as good, longtime fans of the show will know I'm still mad at Lindy Sports or whoever put him on the cover, because I'm sitting here talking about this guy every week, and he was getting killed in college. And it's great, by the way, Robert, that we actually go back that far and we can have those conversations. But I actually like Sam. The Commanders over/under win total is 6.5, and I'm staring at it. So I'm looking forward to the NFC East show and seeing if somebody can talk me into putting a 10 spot on the Commanders getting 7. But
Nope.
all right.
Nope. Ain't happening.
Let's go to our Tier 7 final, our rookies. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, and Anthony Richardson. What are your thoughts, man?
Well, I mean, with Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, you get guys who are used to being successful and you get guys who are used to winning. So I think that mindset means a lot. The fact that they're on bad teams, and the same thing is going to happen with them that happens with the vast majority of these guys. They're going to have their teams are going to throw somebody else out there for 5 or 6 games, and then they'll throw them out there. And their first game, they're either going to be great or they're going to be terrible, but they're going to throw more picks than touchdowns. They're going to struggle reading cover. I mean, just rookie quarterback stuff, because the game's hard. It's hard. And the guys are fast and athletic, and I don't have any strong feelings on any of those three. I think Bryce Young probably plays first.
Yes. Based on everything we've heard, Frank Wright likes him. We did a breakdown of his preparation for the season a few weeks ago. So I think he's going to have an opportunity. I think C.J. Stroud's going to have an opportunity. And if the Colts put Anthony Richards out there, they're tanking. Okay, because he does not appear to be ready for an NFL season. But hey, that's why we play the games. And I'm telling you, if he's the starting quarterback day one, I am hitting the money line on whoever the Colts are playing that day. And I'm like, let's go to the pay window. So, all right. Again, strictly for entertainment purposes only, fans. And if you're an NFL player, forget I said that. Stop betting in the facility. Anyway, finally, from August 13th through August 20th, you're going to get 8 straight days of content from the OCP, as you will hear our breakdown of every division as we prepare for things, again, that are strictly for entertainment purposes only. We will have a cavalcade of stars, some old, some new, some borrowed, some blue. But we're going to have a good time with that. Robert, any final thoughts before we wrap up our Top Shelf Tuesday edition?
Is Aaron Rodgers washed up?
I think so. But who am I? I'm taking the under for the Jets. I'm going to tell you that early. There's your early pick, fan.
I think you're right.
it rarely ends well.
Correct.
So on behalf of my tag team partner, Coach Mike Francis, and our favorite administrator, Robert Abney, I am Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the iCoaches podcast, and we'll see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care.
The iCoaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The iCoaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the iCoaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the iCoaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at iCoaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach FRANCHIZE. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the iCoaches podcast.